Preps, how are you today? Today we're going to read a story again. We've read this one once before. We're going to read it again. Tickly Octopus. We remember how the story ends. Remember that the landing is that the octopus managed to return the precious pearl to Oyster. The wrap-up is that Oyster was delighted and the octopus learnt that he was good at doing other things apart from tickling. Let's think about some other important parts of our story. The takeoff. The takeoff is in the middle when something exciting happens. Do you remember what the takeoff was in this story? Yes, it was. It was when the oyster lost her pearl and it went bouncing down to the deep ocean. Attempts. There's many attempts at this story too. What are some of the things Octopus does when he's attempting to get the pearl back? Do you remember? I remember he swims really fast. He squeezes through a hole. He goes to the bottom of the ocean where it was dark. He sees an eel. What did he do when he saw the eel? He squirted that black ink onto the eel so he could get away. Let's look at the title of our story. Let's count how many words are in the title. 1, 2. Let's count how many letters are in this word. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 letters in this word tickly. What sound does this letter make? T, t, t. That's right. T, t, t. Good job. The letter T makes the sound T. All right, are we ready to do our reading of the story? Tickly Octopus. Tickly Octopus by Ruth Galloway. Down in the ocean, among the swirling seaweed and the colourful coral, lived a tickly octopus. Let's look at this beautiful setting. How are the seaweed and the coral different? That's right, the seaweed and the coral are different. I can see different colours. The seaweed is green. It's got long, thin leaves. The coral has lots of different colours. I can see some purple coral here. It's a little bit more like a little bush. He had 8 twisty, twirly tentacles, and he loved to use them to tickle. When Octopus tickled the little fish, they jumped and jiggled and wriggled and giggled. They thought tickling was wonderful fun. What are the octopus tentacles for? What does an octopus use tentacles for? They're a bit like our hands, aren't they? They grab things with their tentacles. Oh, can you see a capital letter on this page? Have a look. I can see one there. Capital letters are used at the start of our sentence. They're also used for names. Let's have a look here. Can you see there's an O there? And it's a capital O because we're talking about octopus's name. Octopus. But most of the creatures found his tickling tiresome. Octopus tickled Starfish and made her squirm. "Stop it!" she squealed. Octopus tickled the clickety-clackety crab and he tripped and tumbled into the sand. "Go away," he snapped. "But I'm a tickly octopus and I'm really good at tickling," said Octopus sadly, and he swam off to tickle the wriggly, giggly fish again. Why is he feeling a bit sad here? That's right. It's because they don't want to be tickled, the starfish and the crab. One day, Octopus saw Oyster snoozing among the seashells. He couldn't resist giving her a teeny, tiny tickle. There he is. But Oyster woke with a jump and dropped her precious pearl. Ping, bip, boing! It bounced over the rocks and was swept away by the current. "Oh no," gasped Octopus. Poor Oyster was very upset. "Sorry," said Octopus. "I'll get it back for you." Why couldn't Octopus resist tickling Oyster? I think he likes tickling, doesn't he? He likes it when the little fish laugh. Oh, let's point to these words as we say them. Ping, bip, boing. Octopus raced through the water with a whoosh and a swoosh. Whee, he thought, I never knew I could be so super speedy. Let's listen to those words and see if they rhyme. Whoosh, swoosh. Do they rhyme? Yes, they do. They do. I can hear the chunk at the end that's the same. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Octopus followed the pearl as it tumbled down to the bottom of the sea. Wow, he thought, I never knew I could swim so deep. These fish here look different to the fish at the beginning of the story. How are they different to the ones at the top of the ocean? What can you see? I can see some very big teeth. I can see some big eyes too. They've got a lot of spikes on them, these fish. At last, Octopus reached the pearl, but bling, plop, plop. Oyster's precious pearl bounced over the rocks and dropped down a tiny gap in the ocean floor. Octopus squished and squashed and heaved and squeezed and managed to push his rubbery body through the gap. Oh, he thought, I never knew I could be so squidgy. I wonder, why did Tickly decide to put his head down first? Maybe so he could see where to go. Can you see a full stop on this page? Let's have a look. I can see one there. We put a full stop at the end of our sentence because we're finished. There, glittering in the darkness, was the smooth and shiny pearl. But just behind it was a fierce eel. "Arr!" squeaked Octopus. He quickly picked up the pearl and sped away. "Give me that pearl!" roared the eel. I wonder why that eel wants the pearl. "Can you use a deep, loud voice and say, 'Give me that pearl'?" Good job. Octopus huffed and puffed as the eel chased after him. He'd swum such a long way and he was very tired. The eel was getting closer and closer. With a spurt and a squirt, a belch and a squelch, Octopus sprayed a cloud of black ink so that the eel couldn't see a thing. "Wow," thought Octopus, "I never knew I could be so inky." And he danced happily back to Oyster. What does Octopus know about himself now? That's right. He knows that he can squirt ink at something to get away when he's in danger. Oyster was delighted to get her pearl back. "I promise I won't ever tickle you again," Octopus said. "I found lots of other things I'm good at doing too. From now on, I'm going to be a speedy, deep-sea, squidgy, inky octopus. But I'll still be a bit tickly too." I think the author is trying to tell us a message in this book. Sometimes things we like doing, like tickling, other animals or people might not like. Things have to be fun for both people. How do you think we can tell someone if they're doing something we don't like? What are the things we say at school? We say, "Stop it. I don't like it." We also sometimes walk away, don't we? The moral of this story is what we as readers learn from the story. What did this book, The Tickly Octopus, teach us? That's right. If we are brave and try new things, like swimming in the deep, dark ocean, we'll learn new things about ourselves and what we can really do. I like this story because it tells us to try new things because we never know what we'll find out about ourselves and how clever we are. If you were an octopus, if you were an oyster, what would you just say to Tickly when he lost his precious pearl? You might be really sad about that pearl. I think the crab and the starfish find tickling tiresome. If you were the crab, what do you think you could say to your friend Tickly Octopus? Maybe you could say, "I don't like being tickled. Let's go do something else." Maybe crab likes to just go exploring. Tickly Octopus sprayed ink to get away from the eel. If you were an octopus, what could you do to get away from that eel? Have a think. That's the end of our story, Tickly Octopus, today. I'll see you next time.